Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're gonna have a kind of chaotic what's new at the drugstore video because there's so much new stuff, I swear. I'm like, you know what, next week I'm not gonna film what's new at the drugstore, I'm gonna film something else, but there's just so much stuff right now. There's so much product being released. I feel like this always happens at the beginning of the year and then it kind of dies down a little bit, but we are in the height of new makeup being launched. So I'm gonna kind of talk through some of these that I haven't yet tried, and then I'm also going to share my thoughts on ones that I have tried over the course of a few days. First up is the new Naturium Multi-Peptide Eye Cream. Now I love the moisturizer, that kind of is in the same family as this eye cream. This is one of the best under makeup moisturizers ever. It feels like a primer. I'm on like my 5th tube of this. It's amazing. So I was really excited about the eye cream. It's a multi-peptide eye cream with a blend of squalene and hyaluronic acid. Now, I've only used this twice, so I don't really feel like a full expert in it at this point. But from my first impression, what I love about the feeling of the moisturizer is that it almost leaves like a silicone-y slip to it, to where makeup goes on really nicely on top of it. And I feel like this has that same kind of feeling where there's a little bit of like a silicone-y slip to it. And because I have dry under eyes with an eye cream, I don't necessarily love that. I feel like I would probably go with like the e.l.f. Holy Hydration eye cream, that consistency, that really rich moisturizing consistency. But again, this is skincare, so this takes a lot longer for me to make my mind up on. That's just my first impression of it. If it grows on me like products sometimes do, it will show up in a favorites video. So I'm gonna keep playing around with this. All right, next up is a new concealer from Flower Beauty. This is the Get Real Serum Concealer. This has a really cool applicator. It's got like a doe foot with kind of a curve to it, so it really fits up underneath the eye really nicely. I got the shade Vanilla, which is kind of light for me, but I actually really like the result of how bright my under eye area looks right now. So I'm actually happy with this color, even though I thought it was gonna be too light for me. Say if you have very, very dry under eyes, if you have very, very mature under eyes, this might be a little bit too matte of a formula for you. I'm not saying it's a matte concealer, but it dries down to more of like a semi-matte than other concealers that I have. Like the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate, the NYX Serum Concealer. I would consider a lot of other concealers to be very hydrating, and I would consider this to be more of like a natural to semi-matte finish. I personally love it, even though I can get some dryness. I'm not super dry under my eyes, and I can get away with this. It provides beautiful natural coverage, blends easily, and lasts all day. I've worn this several times off camera. So this is a really solid new release from Flower Beauty. I'm really impressed. All right, next up, Milani launched a ton of these new Gilded mini palettes. So of course I was immediately attracted to Whiskey Business. This is just a nice everyday neutral palette, fully matte palette. So this is a really good option if you like completely matte eyeshadows. This has you completely covered. And then my next choice was gonna be the Champagne Problems. Again, a neutral palette. This one, I'm not opening these just because I'm gonna keep the seal on them and give them away. I don't need every single shade of this palette. I'm trying to be more sustainable with all of this makeup being sent to me. So when I don't open every product, it's because I don't wanna open it just to swatch it, not be able to gift it to the shelter that I gift to. This one's neutral, but it does have this gold and this kind of like bronzy shimmer shade. So both of those are good for the neutral palette lovers, which I typically am. And next up we've got Call Me Old Fashioned. This one is also pretty neutral, but more leaning cool tones. So you've got like grays and silvers in here, as opposed to the Champagne Problems, which is more warm toned. And then my personal favorite, which is the Gilded Mini in the shade It's All Rosé. It looks like it's gonna be less wearable than it is. It's what I have on right now. These colors are so beautiful. It's got 3 shimmer shades, like this rose color, this really light pink, and then more of like a champagne tone. I love this matte shade for setting all over, for the brow bone, and then these 2 kind of deepening shades. So what I used, and I thought this would be too pink to be a good transition color, but it actually really works. It blended out beautifully. Even my brush picked up the shimmer really well, which is pretty uncommon. But it provided just a beautiful natural makeup look. I feel like I would definitely wear this on Valentine's Day. All right, next up is a new applicator. I don't know if this is new or just new to me. It was sent to me and I've never used it before, and it's this Revlon eyelash curler with some sort of major situation going on down here. There's like 3 prongs down there and it looks very advanced. It looks like a really nice eyelash curler. Where is the packaging? What is this called? The triple stepped lash curler. Alex Earl on TikTok has kind of made famous curling her lashes like this and then kind of going up and up and up and up. So I think that's what this is meant to be used for. I've used a lot of eyelash curlers in my time. I'm pretty good at curling my eyelashes, and this is probably the worst eyelash curler I've ever used. I don't typically pinch myself, and I pinched myself every time I tried to use this. I don't know what it is about like the thickness of the pad down here, but it really fools you into thinking where it's placed and is very not user-friendly. So unfortunately, I will be passing on this. I do not want to risk pinching my eye area. All right, next up we've got some cream blushes. There's so many blushes to talk about. I've tried 3 out of the 4 formulas. First up, we've got these new Cheeky Kiss products by Lottie London. They actually sent these to me for a TikTok collaboration, and I said, you know, I need to test these over the course of a few weeks before I can commit to a collaboration. And when I tell you I love these are so good. They're gonna be at Walmart if they're not already. And the little applicator, and by the way, 0 obligation for me to talk about these on YouTube. This is a TikTok collaboration. I'm just choosing to. They have a little heart-shaped applicator, and they're supposed to be used for both your lips and your cheeks. It's a really dewy formula. It has vitamin E and hyaluronic acid, but it does set down more than you would think. It's not too dewy to where it feels like really greasy. It's a clicker style applicator. The heart is really cute, but I actually personally like just swiping it on like this because I like a lot of blush. And then it kind of leaves a stain on your lips, and the heart actually makes it pretty easy to apply to your lips because your Cupid's bow is sort of a heart as it is. So I thought that was going to be an annoying shape, but it's actually a pretty useful shape to kind of round out your Cupid's bow. So I've been testing these for a couple of weeks now and really big fan of them. They're not like the most long-lasting blush in the world. I love multi-use products for people either just on a budget or for people that get really intimidated by matching their cheek color and their lip color tones and making sure that they go together. This just kind of takes the guesswork out, and you can use the same color, and obviously that's gonna go together. Next is a cream blush that I tried today. This is by Revolution. This is called their Balm Glow, and I have the shade Flushed Pink. This literally looks like Vaseline. You put it on your cheeks, and this is what I have on right now. When I first applied it, first of all, it's beautiful, it's heavily pigmented, very easy to blend, but it is dewy. Like, this takes dewy to a whole new level. It reminds me of like the Sephora highlighter stick, or back when e.l.f. had that Jelly Pop highlighter stick, where it really is just like a balm that you typically only put on the high points of your face, but this is for your whole blush area. So I was pretty intimidated after I fully put it on because I looked like I was glowing. But once I fully set it down, I used the Honest Beauty setting powder, and when I set it down, it's actually, number one, it didn't lose its pigment, which sometimes when you put powder over a cream blush, even if it's translucent, it can really lose the pigment. This did not lose the pigment, and it really toned down the dewiness, and I feel like it's fully set. So I'm gonna wear it all day today, and I will leave you an update down in the comments and let you know how it wears. But overall, I really love this color. I think it's a super innovative formula. I like the kind of tin packaging. I feel like this is really promising. Now that I'm reading on this box, it says this is also applied to the cheeks and lips type of product. So you can use this as like a Vaseline if you want. So if you have dry skin, this is gonna be your jam. If you love, like, if you just wish you could put balm all over your face, this is the jam. That's what it feels like. A few other eyeshadow palettes I just wanna mention that I will be playing around with that are new releases are this Milani Luminoso. They released a whole new collection based off of their best-selling blush, the Luminoso blush, which I have had forever. But I've been seeing people opening the one from the collection and saying that it's very powdery. It's like it's different from the original formula, so I'll keep you posted on that. But they also launched the Milani Luminoso eyeshadow palette. The first thing I noticed is that the pan size in here is super small and there's no mirror. So the packaging just kind of feels blah to me, but the colors are really, really beautiful. So I will definitely check in with you guys on this one if it stands out to me. This is a part of the new Luminoso collection. Along with this Luminoso liquid blush and highlight. It only came in this one color, so they call it a liquid blush and highlight, which I think is kind of covering their bases. Because if you have a deeper skin tone, this is not going to be a blush on you. It's definitely just going to be a highlight because it's a pretty fair color. But I guess if you have really fair skin, this would be more like a blush on you. So depending on your skin tone, this is either a liquid blush or a liquid highlighter. I'm actually curious to swatch this next to liquid highlighter in the shade Stardust that I have. Okay, so that's Stardust and that's Luminoso. So pretty comparable. The Luminoso just has a little bit more like of a pinky orange to it. So unless this color is just like screaming to you, if you already own this Conceal and Perfect highlight, you're not really missing out on anything. This is sort of just like another version of this highlighter. Then the last part of the collection is the Milani Luminoso lip gloss. You guys know how much I love their lip gloss in the shade Champagne. And I do really like this. It's very long lasting. It's what I have on layered over the lipstick I'll be talking about next. Really pretty. It's got kind of like a gold shimmer to it, but it just gives your lips a wet look. Now it's a little bit of a thicker formula. So what I would recommend is when it comes out of the tube, it comes out with quite a bit of product and kind of just rub some of that off because you really don't need the amount of product because the wand is so big, it's gonna apply a ton. So I would definitely wipe it off so you don't get that goopy look. But if you apply just a little bit, this is still one of my favorite lip gloss formulas and I like that they came out in this beautiful shade. All right, next is the new e.l.f. matte lipsticks. These I kind of wasn't expecting to like because they are so expensive for e.l.f. I wanna say they're like $10 and they have a $3 matte lipstick and the packaging is very NARS. Feels like a luxurious lipstick. For people that value packaging, this one checks that box. It has sort of a magnetic closure, so that's pretty luxury too. But the thing that I love most about it is this shade. This is the shade Dirty Top. You know when you find a shade that you just really, really love, you're like, it's not necessarily that the formula is the best of the best, it's that this shade is so beautiful and such a perfect nude. I think this formula is really good. I think the packaging is really good. It's a nice satin matte finish. It's not a full matte lipstick, but this shade is such a good nude. This reminds me of a lipstick that I had years ago that was my favorite lipstick of all time that was discontinued and I no longer have it. It was the Kate Rimmel lipstick in the shade, I'm sure it's in like a million of my old YouTube videos. I wanna say it was shade 12. No, shade 7, I can't remember, but it was the Kate Moss Rimmel lipstick collaboration. It was like the perfect nude. And this reminds me of it so much. I feel like I've refound my favorite lipstick. Just a beautiful, beautiful nude. Then just a couple of other mentions of new releases. I did a whole video on ColourPop launching at Target. They launched just this one eyeshadow palette at the time, but now they've expanded their collaboration and they've launched a ton of different eyeshadow palettes. Again, I'm not gonna open and swatch them all because that's kind of wasteful. I'm gonna show them all to you. So this is the ColourPop Gone Metal. Beautiful, cool tone palette. It kind of reminds me of the palette that they have, the large one called like Stone Fox, I think is what it's called. If you're a cool toned person, those are hard to find and this is a good one. Then you've got Fresh Greens. I don't think I've ever really worn a green eyeshadow. I'm trying to think, and I have some green in my eyes. I kind of want this to be the one that I keep because I wonder if the green would bring out the green in my eyes. Red definitely does that for me, but this one's really cool. It's called Fresh Greens. And then you've got Blush Baby. Good Valentine's Day gift if you have like a daughter or somebody that you're looking to buy for. Really pretty Valentine's Day colors. And then Feeling Toasty. This is a pretty basic neutral palette. They're also now carrying their lip oils at Target. I personally would recommend the shade Skinny Dip. This color right here. I'm running out of room on my hand. But it's a lip oil with some pigment to it. And this one just gives this really nice nude wash of color. A really nice, thin, lightweight formula. I really like their oil formula. And speaking of oils, Lottie London also launched 2 new oil slicks. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you know that I did a kind of a ranking of all of the different lip oils, and Lottie London was in my top 3. These are some of the best lip oils on the market. This one is called Watermelon Sugar. Cute. And this one's called Blueberry Kiss. Let me see if they actually smell like those things. I smelled them, but I wasn't thinking about the names. Okay, yes. It smells very much like watermelon. And let's see this one. Woo! very strongly like blueberries. If you're sensitive to smells, pass on these for sure. All right, you guys, I have more makeup in front of me here that I'm just gonna be testing in the background, including in favorites and fails videos, because there's just that many launches. It is hard to keep up. But I hope you guys found this overview helpful. Let me know if you enjoy these kind of chaotic, here's all the stuff that I'm testing, here's all the stuff that I'm using type videos. Give this one a thumbs up if you did. I really appreciate you guys spending some time with me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.